Hi guys, this is Wes with What's Wrong with Wes. And right now I am in the hospital. I have had some really bad palpitations on Friday, some heart palpitations. So I went and saw my doctor, and he wanted me to get a stress test done. So on Monday, I went and got the stress test. And then after the stress test, I felt actually pretty good, which is abnormal for me for a stress test. Normally, after I get a stress test, it zonks me out and I don't feel real good. But Mondays actually didn't go that bad. Oh, sorry about that. And then on Tuesday, I had I ate some Chinese food and was watching a James Bond movie with my wife. And all of a sudden my heart started going up and up and up. I went and got some water, thinking maybe it was just the sodium in the Chinese food. And then I sat down on the couch. The palpitations didn't stop, so I went to the bedroom to get the cell phone to call 911 because it seemed like they were getting worse, and they were. I was getting up to 120, 130, 140, and then I called 911. They sent IMSA, and the IMSA guy said that my blood pressure was up over 150 over, I think he said 156 over like 101, something like that. And my heart rate was jumping from the 90s all the way up to 160. So he went ahead and brought me to St. Anthony's because this is where I'd had the stress test done, and it was where I was supposed to have the thyroidectomy. The thyroidectomy was supposed to take place earlier today, or Thursday, yesterday morning, I guess. But because of the stress test, results coming back as abnormal, which I found out on Tuesday night on the ER, they said that the stress test was abnormal, so they wanted to keep me for observation and possibly do a angiogram, which they ended up doing this morning. Actually, this afternoon, about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, somewhere around there. And they found some blockage. So the doctor wanted to do some stents, but he decided instead of stents, he was going to do an angioplasty. And the reason he wanted to do the angioplasty was so that I could still have the thyroidectomy, because that would just clear the blockage for a while, and then later he could go in and do the stents. So he did the angioplasty, and everything, my heart is still a little bit high, still beating a little bit fast, but it was starting to get a little bit more regular. And then earlier tonight I went to the bathroom, and when I finished going to the bathroom, my heart started racing again, so I sat down. And it calmed down for a minute, so I walked back to my bed, and once I got in bed, then my heart started racing again, and it would calm down, and then it would start racing, and the nurse stayed in there with me just to monitor it, and after I'd been in bed for about 5 minutes or so at rest, doing some deep breathing, which normally helps, my heart was shooting up to over 200, which was kind of surprising that my ICD didn't go off. For those of you that have been following the videos, you know that my pacemaker, my ICD there, is supposed to go off if I hit 180. Well, she explained to me that it's not necessarily when I hit 180, it's if I don't come down from 180. If I stay at 180 plus for too long, then my pacemaker will go off, or my defibrillator will go off, which is actually kind of a relief, because now I know that the minute it hits at 180 or 200, it's not going to start flashing me and start hitting me with 1 joule of electricity. So that's at least a little bit of relief. I actually do feel a little bit better after finding that information out. Hang on just a second, they're checking my blood pressure here. But anyways, my heart kept shooting up and going down and shooting up and going down. And so right now I am in the step down rooms. And what step down it means, for those of you that don't know, is these are the rooms they put you in when you come out of ICU. Now, the fact that I wasn't in ICU is what's worrying, because that means for me it's a step up room, even though it's the step down floors. But they've got me on a heart monitor, and they put me on a new medication. The new medication is supposed to keep my heart under 110, which it's doing. It's doing a very good job of that. And it has actually allowed my heart to go back into what is considered a normal sinus rhythm. And if you look right here, over here, that's the heart monitor, you can see that I'm staying right around 70 to 80. And it is set to send an alarm if I get below 70. And the reason for that is because my pacemaker is set to keep me at 60 or above. So if I'm starting to get down to that level, then most likely they need to go ahead and turn the medicine down. So what happened a little while ago was I fell asleep and the alarm went off, the one that says I'm below 70. So they came in and they adjusted the medicine, because I actually am going into normal sinus rhythm at this point. So they adjusted the medicine pump over here to not administer as much of the new medicine. And the problem is that now I'm actually starting to get to the point where I'm staying around 65 to 70 when I'm just sitting here not doing anything. When I was just watching some TV, it was going down to 65 or 70. So it's saying above 70 right now, because if it goes below 70, you'll hear it. It'll start binging at me, and then they'll have to figure out what the next step is. But it is kind of worrying. It's kind of terrifying. The fact that, I'm on this medication that's supposed to keep my heart low, but when I go to sleep or when I'm too rested, like when I'm just relaxed, then it brings me down below the threshold that they've set. So what's going to happen, when I'm asleep for a while? Is my pacemaker going to kick in? Is the medicine going to fight my pacemaker? It's kind of terrifying right now to close my eyes. That's not to say it's a bad thing. I need sleep, and most likely nothing would happen. They would come in, they would adjust the medication, or they would take me off the medication. And they're up at the desk, they're watching it very closely because of all the problems I've had, and because of the floor that I'm on. So it's one of those moments of, logically, I know I'm probably going to be okay going to sleep, but emotionally, I'm terrified to close my eyes and go to sleep at this point, because the 2 times I fell asleep, it went off, and then earlier when I was just watching some TV, it would go off for a minute until I would look at it, and then it got all shy and embarrassed and went back up. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I think I need to put it at ease. Yeah. It'll be okay, man. It'll be okay. So, anyways, that's where we're at right now. I'm in the hospital. They are hopefully going to still do the thyroidectomy. That's the plan. I'm hoping that the palpitations were due to stress and not being on my medication because of the stress test, and the heart cath that they did. They had to take me off my medications today. So I'm hoping that's all that is. I'm hoping by tomorrow that my heart will be back in normal sinus rhythm without the medication or with a low dose of the medication, so that either they can send me home, send me back to work, or schedule the thyroidectomy. So that's where we're at now. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.